I'm very grateful, I'm honored, and I'm thankful for the Sacred Space for putting on this International Women's Celebration, Glorious Women Festival. Thank you to the Women of Peace nonprofit. It's an incredible initiative to remind us all of who we are, how we're meant to show up in the world, and give more and more and more resources and tools and remind us of our inner capabilities of how we can show up in the most incredible way in the world. So thank you all for being here. Who here could use a little more peace? Especially what's going on nowadays, right? Who here would love to see more peace in the world and has aspirations that this is just what's going to happen shortly in the world? And who here recognizes that it begins with you? That's what brings us here today. My name is Danna, like Yelena said. My name is Danna Pycher. For those of you that don't know me, I am a professional speaker and a hypnotist. My day job is I like to hack into people's minds day in, day out, hour by hour. It's a delight to share this work with people. I am such a passionate advocate of we do have the inner resources, we just have never been taught how to tap in. And today, what we're going to be speaking about is peace of mind. I began working as a hypnotist. I never thought I'd be a hypnotist. That was something that surprised me too. I used to work in the media. Never thought I would leave that. I was in that for a decade. And like anyone's second calling, it came to me, knocking on my door over and over and over, and basically did not let me say no. It's been almost a decade, and I haven't looked back. And just to kind of give you a little reference as to why I got into this work, I never thought I'd be a hypnotist. I was never into healing. It was so the furthest away from me. I like to be in here. Well, I'm still in here as a hypnotist, right? Being in here and also being in the feeling of the spiritual world had nothing to do with me. And it came to me by accident. I was in a near fatal car accident more than a decade ago. I had to learn how to walk and talk again. I had a very bad outlook from every single person of authority that I met, basically saying I would be traumatized for the rest of my life. I probably will not walk again, right? So being the stubborn old me, being very young, and 30 seconds before my accident, I was a walking, talking, confident little, woman who could not be told no. And then 30 seconds after my accident, near-death experience, I woke up different, right? And that's something else I talk about a lot now, is no one talks about spiritual trauma. Has anyone ever heard of that? Not many, right? We hear about trauma when we come back from war. We hear about big things need to happen. But in this new consciousness that we're evolving into, we're all rapidly expanding, especially probably for those of you that are in this room right now. So I woke up a different person. I was 23 years old, and all of a sudden I had this new awareness that I had to grow into. So what happened is I knew after the accident I was in bad shape. I knew I needed therapy ASAP because the person I was before the accident was not this person anymore. I didn't recognize myself. I was a shell of a human. And it wasn't depression. Most doctors told me to go on high-level antidepressants. And I was like, do you not understand something major happened to me? And I knew it was something that could get resolved. It was a major event, right? So I went on my own journey, and I sought out therapy, and this therapist was really nice, but effectively did nothing to shift my trauma. I talked about my accident probably every single time we met up, and I was still traumatized. So I was very lucky. I met a woman who survived cancer, and she said she would not be alive today were it not for this trauma therapist she went to. So I said, okay, trauma is my middle name. I would like to meet this woman. So I met her. And the first thing she said to me, she looked me straight in the eye and she said, I'm a bit alternative. What are your thoughts on that? I said, anything, I'm desperate, please save my life, right? And she said, I do this thing called hypnosis. And I said, anything and everything except for that. Like, not happening, right? So I was highly skeptical, not interested, very cerebral. It's not my thing. About a handful of sessions in, she reminded me, she's like, I think it's time. And I was like, okay. I liked her. I thought she was intelligent. And most of all, and this is what I tell a lot of people that seek my advice of who to be supported by, right? Because just like any doctor or any therapist, there are levels of practice and levels of who you connect to. So the first person I was with, she was great, not for me. This woman happened to be 7 steps ahead of me, and she was able to handle me. That's the biggest piece. Who can hold space for you and who can handle you? That's who you go to, right? And there's incredible practitioners out there. So with that said, she hypnotized me. First time. And I left and I felt lighter. It's like, okay, that's interesting. I have no idea what voodoo she did. Weird. But I feel good. Within a month and a half, all of my trauma was gone. Within 2 months, my depression. And within 3 months, my anxiety. And this had every other person of authority tell me I would never, ever, ever heal any of these things. And she cleared it up for me. I owe my life to her. I never thought I'd be a hypnotist after that. I went back into my old work. And again, it came knocking at my door. For another time, another place, another talk. Peace of mind. This is what brings us here today. When I first started working, I saw people with addictions. What most people see hypnotists for. Smoking, weight loss, stress, maybe. Alcohol addictions. And nowadays, I specialize in trauma and as it's related to the body, the shock that never leaves the body. You cannot do surgery for trauma. You cannot acupuncture trauma. And you cannot talk out trauma. You have to work with the subconscious, right? So nowadays, I mostly do work with autoimmune disease, mind-body healing, and bringing you back to vitality. With that said, with all the different topics of human life, human issues, human problems, actually the only thing that people are seeking out when they come to me, there's one thing. It's universal. Can anyone guess what that is? Peace of mind. When you achieve peace of mind, your addictions fall away. You can shake off that trauma. Your nervous system feels at ease and can finally do what it's meant to do. Heal your body. So there's no difference between me and you and you and you and you and you and you all trying to achieve the same thing. We have quote unquote different issues, but we don't. It all centralizes on peace of mind. I noticed something a couple years ago that I thought fascinating. If I'm at peace, right, my reality shifts. My subconscious, okay, what do they say about the subconscious? It's a reflection, it's like a movie into your world, right? So if I'm at peace, I cannot see violence. It doesn't show up in my world, right? So me, as my individual movie, it doesn't show up. So what if all of us, in our individual movies internally, it didn't show up? That's how it starts with you. When your movie shifts, right, you cannot see these things. It actually doesn't show up. So if there's hundreds of thousands, and that's what the awakening is, if you're familiar with the spiritual awakening, right? There's so much being cleared out that we cannot see this in our reality anymore. And eventually, it's just going to be mainstay. So that's what brings me here today, is to kind of coach some of us. So usually my sessions are about an hour, right? I do a half an hour of talking. How are you? What's going on? Fill me in. How's life? Then a half an hour of packing the minds, right? My newest love is rapid healing, meaning in 2 minutes you're feeling good permanently. Okay? Sounds good, right? Yes. Yes. There is such a thing as a magic pill. It's called your mind, right? It's so funny. Our blood flows. We don't think about it. I mean, when's the last time you thought blood flow? Please, please go, go, go. Thank you. Right? No, it just works. We never think about if we get a little finger, like a paper cut. We don't say, heal, 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 please, 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 go, 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 work, 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 work. Great, you did it. Right? No, it just works. The catch is no one ever taught us how, right? Us hypnotists, we have a little secret society. I was actually at a conference in Vegas a couple weeks ago, and every time I go to a hypnotist conference, I think I'm in a room with wizards. Literally, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God, you're fascinating. Oh my God, you're fascinating. I have to talk to all of you, right? Granted, it's a dying profession in one way. They're all triple my age, right? They're in their 70s and 80s, the godfathers of this work. And there is a little bit of a renaissance, but not much. So my biggest advocacy is not only teaching other practitioners, certifying other practitioners, but teaching every single human I come into contact with a couple tools. That if you have anxiety right now, what do? How do you hack that? If you have pain in your body, this is one of my favorite. Pain is a feeling, even if it's chronic. Just because no one taught you how to hack your mind doesn't mean we can't learn now, right? Who wants to learn a couple hacks? Yeah, let's do it. Thank you so much. Okay, first hack. This is called color breathing, right? So the subconscious mind is actually, it's quite simple. With that said, it holds a lot of material. It holds everything from, if you believe in it, all your past lives, to the womb experience, to beyond, right, until you're conscious now. Actually, some would say, my favorite technique in hypnosis is called regression therapy. This is going into, yes, you know it. Yes, I love it. It's going into the past memories, not to change history. You cannot change what you've been through, but you can upgrade your software, right? You don't have to be a prisoner to your life. It's one of my favorite techniques. So there's something called regression. There's past life regression, a whole other topic for a whole other time. And then there is progression, right? I had a client come to me one time. This is a great story. She came to me and she asked me, she's like, is hypnosis going to mess up my alpha wave? I'm like, I've never got that question before. She's like, well, I'm in psychic school. And I'm just curious if it's going to mess up my alpha wave. I'm like, actually, no. I'm like, what we do in hypnosis, we bring you into an altered state of consciousness naturally, right? We bring you into alpha wave or theta wave. It's the brain wave right below consciousness. And in that brain wave, you can have higher learning. So why does she not want to mess up her alpha wave? Because that is what psychics tap into, that trance-like state, to tap into their knowing, right? To tap into the future. It was so cool to hear that. Because I was like, no, I put people on alpha wave on purpose every single day. So just like there's regression, some would say when you're clear of mind, you have progression. You can actually see what's coming up for you. It's all in here. All right, I know that's a little trippy. Trippy? Trippy but good, right? Trippy but good? Okay, we love trippy but good. Amazing. Okay, so let's do some hacking. These are really, really simple tools that you can use every day in the moment. Okay, the first is color breathing. It's very simple. You can do it anywhere, anytime, and it's very powerful. Just like I said earlier, the subconscious is actually quite simple, right? You just have to give it simple cues. It's kind of like a 5-year-old. You don't want to be so complex. So it's very powerful as well, meaning what this color breathing does is it attaches your desire and immediately embeds it in your body, right? So you can just start hacking right away. So on theme, we're going to hack our little subconscious or our grand subconscious, and with peace. Okay, we're just gonna be, by the end of today, we're gonna be hopefully blitzed out with peace. I think that's the intention of all of today. Okay, so first things first. If, for all of you, because for all of you it will be different, if there were to be a color that represents peace, first impression, just think of it. What color would that be? My first impression, probably a lot of you, is blue. Maybe not. Everyone has a different representation. So the first thing you're going to do is we're going to compound minute after minute, like color after color. We're just going to really anchor a high frequency on a high state, okay? High emotional state. So first thing, we'll tap into peace. So if we're to have a color, you're going to see a ball above your head filled with this like paint, okay? It's this paint color, right? So you're going to breathe it in. Close your eyes and just breathe in that in. And wherever there's tension in your body that's not with that color, just breathe it in and melt it away. So take your time, breathe it in. Feeling it, seeing it, believing it. When you're done, keep on breathing in. When you're done, you may open your eyes. Good job. Awesome. Okay. If there's to be a color that represents serenity, like peace, but a little bit different, it might be represented in a different color. So allow a ball of that color to be above your head. And it doesn't matter what you've gone through, what you came through before today, we're effectively hacking the mind. So paint, ball, right? This fluid color, vibrant, breathe it in. Feeling better and better and better with every second, every breath. When you're done, you may open your eyes. So now not only do you have peace, you have serenity. We're compounding, right? If there was a color that represents integrity, just feeling as if your integrity aligned with yourself, first impression. Breathe it in. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Good job. If there was a color that represents a blissed out state, first impression, breathe it in. Good. Okay. So what that is for is we can choose our emotions whenever, wherever, however, right now, right? It doesn't matter what we're going through, and that's a 2-second technique that in whatever you're going through, the color is an anchor. There's something in the world of hypnosis and NLP, if any of you know that. It's an anchored state. So we are just choosing the anchor in the moment, and we're amplifying it by giving it a color. We're breathing it in, and it's now locked in, okay? So enjoy that for the moment. Yes, I love the smiles I'm seeing. Amazing. Okay, so this is something I love, right? This is something called, wow, there's so many of the techniques wrapping through my head. So I'm going to choose this one. It's called pillars. Okay, so it's similar, but it's you're going to do all 3 with your eyes closed, right? And you can do however many you want, but we're going to just choose 3 for today, right? So close your eyes. You're in a big room, kind of a room the size of this grand hall. And in front of you drops down a spotlight. And this spotlight represents the feeling of being radiant and vital, vitality, right? Again, if we were to have a color. So bring down vitality. Now step inside, and you're going to stretch your body as big. Yep. Feel as if you're stretching as big as that color of vitality. Every single cell, every little part of your DNA is absorbing that vitality. Breathe it in. And now stretching it even bigger than this room. Big, 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 big. You're going to stretch your body that big as well. Even bigger. Stretching your comfort zone. You're getting even bigger. Your cells are stretching to the size of this light. Breathe it in. Feel that radiance in every single cell, shaking out anything that does not belong there anymore. Yep, you can move, you can shake, you can yawn. If you need to let out a tear, good job. You're going to take a step out of that light, and that light's going to shrink. It's going to compress, little, 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 small, 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 and it's going to get more and more powerful and potent as it shrinks. And then you're going to put that light into a little pearl and put that pearl on your wrist. This pearl exists whenever you need it, now on your wrist. Anytime you touch your wrist, anytime, 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 no matter where, who, what you're doing, you're going to have that little pearl on your wrist for vitality and radiance. Good job. You're going to walk through that, seeing those smiles. Got to love that smiles. Yep, that's what we're looking for. Instantaneous happiness. So let's do happiness. If there was a light, a spotlight that represents happiness, glorious happiness. We're here at the Glorious Women's Festival, all-day festival. If there's to be a light that represents happiness, bring down that spotlight, step in. Stretch your body so every single cell touches that light. Breathe it in. Stretch your body, move your bodies. You're just going to start breathing in that glorious happiness. Not because I said so, because you deserve it. Stretch that light as big as the room. Stretch your body as big as that light. Breathe in that happiness into every single cell. Beautiful. That high state of emotion. Yes, you might move, you might shake. Absorb it into every single cell. You're doing incredible. Good job. Step out. Shrink that light. Make it more potent, more powerful. It's the size of a tiny little pearl. You put that on your wrist. Now you have vitality. I see those smiles. I love it. Vitality and happiness whenever you need it. It's anchored to your wrist. Those tools are for you whenever you need them. Let's do one more light. In this room, take a step forward. Take a step forward into your empowerment. That unshakable empowerment. No matter who, what, where wants to tell you anything different, it is unshakable. So that color, mine's like a metallic slate charcoal. Empowerment. Victorious. Unstoppable. Bring down that light. Step in. Stretch your body. Breathe it in. Victorious. Yes. Stretch it as big as this room. Stretch yourself. Stretch yourself as big as that light. Absorb yourself. Step out of that light. Shrink it. Compact it. It's potent. It's powerful. It's the most powerful little victorious, empowered, energized little pearl that goes on your bracelet. And now touch your wrist. Times 10, times 1,000, times a million. Times 10, times 1,000, times a million. Head clear, heart clear, soul clear. Head clear, heart clear, soul clear. Bigger, bigger, bigger. Breathe it in. If you cry, that's incredible. Your subconscious mind is healing. Let it out. Great job, everyone. Take your time. Breathe it in one more time. That's right. Breathe it in one more time. I thank you for going on that little journey with me. 2 techniques that each took 2 minutes. We effectively hypnotized, hacked all of your subconsciouses, and one little secret, I have no idea what your personal issues are. Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? And if we did, we can specify, but it's not the point. We all have the power within ourselves. Thank you for showing up that way. I bow down to you. We all have the power within ourselves to feel good, to feel empowered, to feel vibrant, and whatever stuff's going on back there, whatever history, whatever ancestry, whatever collective consciousness we're carrying, it is actually our responsibility to uplift it, right? Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Woo! If you have any questions, I'm here. Anna and I are here today to share anything. If you have any questions, any comments, if you would like to decompress, please let me know. One announcement before we go. Yes, you see the flyers in front of you. In April, locally, I'm giving my next retreat. It's called Personal Subconscious Mastery. I'm teaching all of my hypnotic secrets, all of my hacks for mental, emotional, spiritual recovery. Please find me, and today only is 20% off, and I'd love to see all of you there.